First tonight, with the midterms 5 days away, a deeper dive this evening into our voting system. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Carolina Lead. This as Florida voters were accused and charged with voter fraud.
It's 2 felony charges for voter fraud, but they've reduced it to $500 bonds. So it's $1,000 total.
Oh my God, man, what
These videos made headlines across the country. Governor DeSantis says the 20 arrests across the state protect election integrity, but critics say they represent a broken system. All 6 cases in Hillsborough County are moving through the court system right now. One of the accused just wrapped up a status hearing.
Tonight, 10 Investigates Emerald Morrow shows you the flaws in our voting system and where the state can close the gaps.
Sheriffs want to talk to you, sir. What's this for about?
We have a warrant for your arrest.
What? Voter fraud. What is voter fraud?
Sometimes I go to bed and I'm crying and I'm hoping that I don't wake up in the morning.
For Nathan Hart, August 18th was a nightmare.
Unfortunately, you got a warrant out, okay?
Warrant?
Yes, sir. Want to put your hands behind your back for me?
Shocked and shamed, Hart says he could feel his life once again slipping into shambles.
I guess you're not allowed to vote.
Well, no, but no one ever really explained all that much to me.
The state of Florida has charged and is in the process of arresting 20 individuals across the state for voter fraud.
Just hours after deputies booked Nathan Hart into jail, Governor DeSantis held a press conference.
They are disqualified from voting because they've been convicted of either murder or sexual assault.
I gotta put you in handcuffs, buddy.
Under the state's new Election Crimes and Security Unit,
We do have a warrant.
20 people statewide arrested and charged with voter fraud. 6 face charges in Hillsborough County.
They did not get their rights restored, and yet they went ahead and voted anyways. That is against the law, and now they're going to pay the price for it.
A price Hart says he cannot afford to pay.
If the governor himself has got it out for me, he wants to crucify me, then what chance does a lowly schmuck like me have to really do much about it? Because I mean, I'm nobody, I'm poor, I have no clout anywhere whatsoever.
Of the 6 arrests in Hillsborough County, videos 10 Investigates got through public records requests show most in a state of frustration and confusion.
I'm trying my best to get the hell out of this state, man. This crazy, man. Y'all put me in jail for something I didn't know nothing about.
Some said they believed they could vote because they got valid registration cards from the government. Hart says someone working to register voters outside a local DMV encouraged him to apply.
All right, what the hell? So I just went ahead and filled out the form like he showed me, and a month later I got a voter ID card, so I figured, I guess that law applied to me after all.
And there's your defense. You know what I'm saying?
That
sounds like a loophole to me.
A loophole, some say, represents a broken system.
The system's broken on the front end. If, like other states, we had an immediate verification process, then none of this would have happened. Nobody would have been arrested. We wouldn't have had to spend all this money on law enforcement and the courts and seeing the pain of our own fellow citizens going through this process.
There is a process to flag voters with felony convictions who do not have the right to vote.
The process is the state notifies us of these convictions. You know, I don't have access to every clerk's office in the state. I don't have access to the Florida Crime Information Center or the Florida Department of Law Enforcement files.
But 10 Investigates got records that show the state did not do that until at least a year after these people voted. The Department of State also recently sent letters to supervisors of elections telling them the arrests were not their fault.
The Secretary of State needs to take responsibility for what's happening. And they need to say, we're going to put the resources to ensure that this never happens again.
Other states do this. This is an information management challenge that we should all roll up our sleeves, get in the same room, and figure this out.
We reached out to the Department of State, who told us, quote, "These individuals lied when they registered to vote. They were never eligible, and there is no confusion on that point." We pulled their voter registration applications that do show they checked this box, saying they have a felony record and their rights had been restored. But that is where this law gets confusing for some.
What is wrong with this state, man? What are you talking about? Voter fraud. Y'all saying anybody with family can vote, man. What you mean I couldn't vote? I don't know this.
Until recently, Florida did not let people with felony convictions vote. That changed when Amendment 4 took effect in 2019. It restored voting rights for people with felony records, except those with murder or sex offense convictions. Republican State Senator Jeff Brandes helped implement the change.
The way that we drafted the law was to say that if you were going to be arrested for this, the state had to prove that you did it willingly. Well, willingly means you had either had knowledge and intent.
Brandes says the law still shows mercy for ineligible voters who may cast a ballot.
Because I'm somebody who believes that the state should always be leaning towards grace. We should always be trying to restore people, and especially when people have paid their debt to society.
Why would y'all let me vote if I wasn't able to vote?
I'm not sure, buddy. I don't know.
And then why now? This happened years ago. Why now? Why me?
Lucas Fleming is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. He says confusion around Amendment 4 is a valid defense for those facing charges.
I think a jury would have a hard time convicting somebody who basically was under the belief and understanding that their rights were restored.
Oh my God, man, what the?
Good Lord, they just probably got out of prison or probation. Do you think they really want to go back and be charged with another felony for exercising the right to vote?
We should be notifying first and prosecuting last. What you find with these individuals is they were never notified. In fact, some of them got multiple voter ID cards over the years before the state ultimately notified them that they were not eligible for a voter ID card.
A card that could now cost people like Hart their freedom.
In order to be convicted of voter fraud, you have to have intent to commit fraud. And I had no intent to commit it whatsoever. If I had any clue this could come back and bite me in the behind, then I would have never stepped out my front door to go vote in the first place.
Emerald Morrow, 10 Investigates.
Well, a judge recently dismissed a case in Miami. The state says it plans to appeal.